Hello, it's Julie here from the Scrappy Tree, and today we're going to talk about our ink pads. So some more stamping basics. We're at my dining room table here. Better light at this time of night that I'm doing this. Our first type of ink that you're going to use when you're going to be stamping, you're going to come across chalk ink. And chalk ink usually comes in really cute little colors. And the benefit to chalk ink is that it's a fast drying ink. I just tap it on my little heart here. Better get some over here. Okay. So I've got it on my stamp and just need to get fast drying, so I better work quick. Anyway, let's get this on here. So we're going to do our heart. And here we go. That's our heart with our chalk ink. Again, it's a fast drying ink. It's kind of a wet pad. Okay, now if you see what I'm doing here, I'm just cleaning off my stamp, and all I'm using literally is a wet washcloth. You can use baby wipes, you can use the stamp cleaners that are out there. I'm just going to kind of pat dry it on a paper towel. But there's all kinds of things you can use to clean it with. I prefer to use baby wipes, but I am running low. So this weekend I need to get some more. But a wet cloth works just fine. Another ink that you're going to use and see a lot is going to be your dye inks. And your dye inks are going to come in, again, different sizes, different companies. But we have Memento dye ink. Tuxedo Black is probably the most basic, probably all-purpose ink you're going to find, because when it dries, it is going to be waterproof. So when you're going to color in with maybe Copic markers or watercolor pencils and a water brush, shimmering H2Os, anything that's going to get it wet, this would be the ink you'd want to use. Otherwise, if you're going to use like a chalk ink or a pigment ink that we're going to talk about too, it's going to smear. So this is really an ink that everybody should have, and I have it in the black and the rich cocoa. Some other dye inks are, cute little pads. They're small in size. They stack on each other. They're from Marvy. Come in, again, I probably have 20 of these. I really like these because I like the size of them, and they're real easy to use. So those are nice. These are new from Hero Arts Shadow Ink. I have wet cement, charcoal, so I like my grays. And I have been searching forever for a really nice yellow, not a real bright one, which I seem to find all the time, but just a real nice, kind of butter creamy, pretty yellow. Anyway, this one is called Butter Bar, and I really like that one. That's a pretty one, and that one we're going to use to stamp the heart too. So I've got my stamp. We're going to ink it up. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so one thing with the shadow inks, they are dye inks, but in addition to that, they kind of seep into your paper after some time. So that's where you get the shadow part from. This heart was stamped a while earlier. It's dried. One thing you can tell with the one I just stamped, it looks a little blotchy. After time, what happens is that it seeps into your paper and kind of spreads out, so it becomes like flat. Okay, it also is a lighter color. So you're going to have to keep that in mind if you do get that kind of ink pad, that what you stamp, what you see at first, this is not going to end up being what you get. You're going to get a little bit of a difference. It's kind of a neat thing. I don't know if I'll get a whole bunch more, but they're kind of neat. So those are your dye inks. You're going to probably say they're your all-purpose. They're probably the best ink that there is, the best type. We're going to talk about pigment inks in the next video, but so far we covered chalk and dye.